It's official. I am now That's Good TMZ. That's Good Extra. That's Good Tabloids. And you, oh, you are all the housewives clicking on the gossip mill. Don't call me a peddler of drama when you clicked on the video. Tom Brady, NFL quarterback, is getting a divorce. And I know what you're thinking. Oh God, what is Brandon going to do in this video that forces me to unsubscribe to him? Is he really about to revel in another man's broken marriage? No, I am not some soulless asshole. Broken up passes, that's what I root for with Brady. Can I handle this news story like an adult? Yes. Well, fuck around and find out. That's good sports. If you don't think I can handle this like a mature adult, subscribe to this channel. Make 2 mistakes today. Now look, before we get into this, there's a lot of people who don't think we should be talking about this. And I get, a divorce is a private matter, but Tom Brady is a very public figure. Maybe the most notable public figure in the NFL. So it's a newsworthy story, and that's what I do here. I talk about NFL news. And it just so happens he's my mortal enemy. But it's not the subject matter, it's about how you discuss it. And hopefully, I don't let you down there. My way of looking at this is, if I can talk about Henry Ruggs killing somebody in a drunk driving accident, if I can talk about sexual assault and the whole Deshaun Watson case, then I think I can manage this. And I wanted to preface the episode with that because there's already a lot of people on social media saying nobody should be talking about Tom Brady's divorce. Nobody should talk. Why? Every fucking divorce, every celebrity divorce ever has been talked about and used for clicks and eyeballs. It is funny how all of a sudden we shouldn't touch this one because why? Because it's Tom? Because it's Tom Brady? And I think we can be respectful to Tom and Gisele when talking about what's going on. So they have hired divorce. Can't use, if I can't talk, then I can't do that, can I? Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen have hired divorce lawyers after 13 years of marriage, ending a relationship that began all the way back in 2006 when Gisele was barely too old for her last partner, Leonardo DiCaprio. Antonio Brown has actually already reached out to Tom Brady to see if his divorce lawyer could do some pro bono work for AB and any pool-related lawsuits that emerge. Brady has said no. Now, it's been speculated for a couple months that Tom and Gisele have been going through a rough patch in their marriage, and that they've been living in separate houses. A luxury most of us cannot afford when our marriage is going through a tough patch, a rough patch. That extra house, we call that the couch. This now appears to be speculation no longer. The New York Post has reported on this. Page 6, Pro Football Talk. You know, all of the most reputable news platforms out there. Now, I don't need to tell you my thoughts about Tom Brady. If you spent more than 30 seconds watching this channel in the past decade, you'll know that I don't care for the guy as a football player. I think he's a great quarterback who's gotten otherworldly luck from the football gods, and I also think he's duped a bunch of gullible people into his TB12 method that's a mix of well-branded common sense and a dash of snake oil. I smashed Tom Brady's Lego head for charity, of course. I also made a whole music video titled "Fuck You, Tom Brady." I mean, just today, before this divorce news broke, I tweeted this: I'm a sick man and I have a problem, okay? All that said, I don't take delight in the dissolution of another man's marriage, especially when there are children involved. As a family man myself, I respect the sanctity of the familial unit, and I will not be celebrating real people's lives being changed forever. That's fucked up. Even if they do have impossible amounts of money, irrespective of one another's career. Being rich doesn't make that any easier. It makes the lawyers who handle their cases a lot richer, though. Now, Tom Brady is currently worth about $250 million, which somehow actually feels low for Tom Brady. Gisele is worth more, so now we will see if Brady takes the Jay Cutler approach and goes after half of his wife's money. Or is he going to be a classy individual moving forward? Like Pro Football Talk, I am willing to make this video for clicks as my way to support my family. So, thank you for that, Tom. Apparently though, the divorce stemmed from an epic fight that Tom and Gisele had a couple months ago, and they've been living in separate houses ever since. Even though they have all that money, I like to picture Gisele keeping the massive beach house while Tom moves out into a crappy apartment like Milhouse's dad.
Singles life is great, Homer. Today I drank a
TB12 smoothie
in the bathroom.
I probably wouldn't be talking all that much about this except for the fact that Brady's marriage has always been oddly key to his success and to the Patriots' success for so many years. When Tom and Gisele got married in 2009, Gisele had more money than Tom. Gisele has a net worth of roughly $400 million, which I'm sure makes her the richest supermodel in the world, or whatever. I don't think they have a spot track for supermodels. Although, trademark, Thatsgoodsports, supermodel spot track. Now this allowed Brady to take pay cuts on his own, which freed up cap space for the Patriots to sign players that put them over the top and win the last 3 of their 6 Super Bowls with Brady. He even said this on Jimmy Kimmel back in 2019 before his last season in New England.
For me in my life, winning has been a priority, and my wife makes a lot of money, so.
I see. Oh, good. That's right.
Tom Brady has never signed a record-breaking deal or put his team in a tough spot with the salary cap, and I think that's actually had a lot to do with his success. This is why I've been playing Ciara's music on loop on Spotify since Russell Wilson was traded to the Broncos. I want her to make as much money as possible so Russ can take a pay cut one day and we can go sign some top-tier free agents. I also work full-time at Walmart now. And like former President Trump, I don't take a paycheck. That money goes right back to my team. Now I say all of that to say that this marriage has been strangely a significant factor in the last decade of NFL history. While I wish Tom would just fucking divorce football, I sort of liked this power couple. I did. I don't expect Brady, though, will be signing any more contracts, and honestly, this does feel like Brady's last year. Obviously, Brady briefly retired during the offseason and came back to the Bucs, and who knows what effect that had on his marriage. But I would expect that his return was either the catalyst for their breakup or the direct result of it. That said, if the NFL decides to do a sitcom version of Hard Knocks with Tom Brady moving in with Gronk as he navigates bachelor life, I will watch, especially if their next door neighbor is grumpy old Bill Belichick, who only stops by to insult Tom. Brady gets super angry and breaks Gronk's tablet and storms out of the room, and Belichick says, "I told you he's not easy to live with." Cue the laugh track, smash cut to Tom asking Bill to borrow duct tape so he can put Gronk's tablet back together again, and then we get a happy ending every episode. Now, I have no idea whether Brady went back for another season to escape his problems or whether his return caused a rift that eventually ended his marriage. I understand on Gisele's part wondering when your 45-year-old husband is finally going to say enough is enough after 22 years in the NFL and 7 rings and say, "I'm going to retire and spend time with my wife and 3 kids." I get that. I don't think people are meant to play professional football for this long. I think the wear and tear mentally, physically, and neurologically over the course of 2+ decades seems over the top, especially when you've already accomplished far more than anyone else has in the history of the game. But as we see often with the great athletes, it is hard for them to leave the game. It is hard for many of them to know when they should. Without knowing for sure, though, I'd be willing to bet that's how Gisele feels as well. I'm not Tom's wife, but his longevity in the NFL has taken a toll on me, too. The fact is that through 4 games this season, Brady has been pedestrian, and he's looked pedestrian in ways that he really never has before. The Bucs are 2-2, and it's not the first time Tom Brady has been 2-2 at this point in the season. It's happened quite a few times, actually, and they've pretty much always made, well, at least a conference title game, and his teams even won a Super Bowl after a 2-2 start. But it feels different. This year feels very different. Brady looks exhausted. He doesn't seem like he has that fire that he usually has on the field. He just kind of looks sad and fragile out there. And it's getting to the point where I almost feel bad for the man. I mean, I don't, but if any other 45-year-old man made this face, I would ask them if they need to talk. I would. Now, the Buccaneers offense doesn't have much in the way of a run game, as evidenced by the 52-6 run-pass ratio in their Sunday night loss to the Chiefs. They don't seem totally set up on offense to support a 45-year-old quarterback who's averaging just 6.8 yards per attempt through 4 games. The Bucs will get better, though, in part because they still have 7 games against the Saints, Panthers, and Falcons, teams that just aren't all that good. And the Bucs will make the playoffs. They're gonna get a home playoff game and probably edge out a team like the Cardinals or the Vikings before getting sent home by a better team in the divisional round. Then Tom Brady will have to make up his mind on whether he wants to enter another season knowing that he's a middle-of-the-pack QB who's probably not good enough to win an 8th Super Bowl, or just retire while his mystique is mostly still intact. And finally, I'm a little bit excited to see who Tom Brady starts dating post-divorce, because I get the feeling we're going to be reusing a lot of those Leonardo DiCaprio jokes. Unless he goes the other way. Oh, you cheeky bastard, Tom. That's a power couple right there. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube for more NFL drama updates. I will bring you all of the drama, the latest gossip, who's dating who in the locker room snapped the towel on the other guy's butts. Whatever you want to hear, I got you covered.